to throw in the early game for Alliance to win this one, and considering it's going to be Arax Earth Spirit, I don't think that's going to happen.
Ranger at your service.
Exactly. Right. So Earth Spirit has to fuck up for Alliance to win, and it's a Jerax Earth Spirit. So we'll see.
Yeah, no big deal, no pressure, but interesting. So does anyone, are we all on the side of OG unanimous panel? Because that doesn't happen. Suns fan, do you believe? So you are for OG?
You're for OG, all right. I'm trying to think about how Alliance wins. I can't. I just stare at that redhead. It's not going to fucking happen. She just gives me that face like, oh, ruining another one of your teams. Here I go.
Legion Commander.
Can't. Sorry.
What do you have against
Everything.
You're an absolute monster, Slacks. All right, gang. Well, we are going to be loading into game 1 of Alliance versus OG. Again, this is I guess this is technically the winner bracket final of the EU side.
Sure.
So winner of this is the champion of the EU side of the bracket, and then they will be awaiting the champion. EU finals.
The
Yeah, okay,
EU
that's the
finals.
proper. But winner of this has one more round for the final trophy. And there we go. There's
Draft's
the load-in. So we've got Annie and Purge here for game number 1 of this.
Very much, Pan. AnneDroid, and I am joined by the lovely Purge once again. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. I'm excited about the draft. The first thing that sticks out to me is Windranger was heavily buffed. I know Slacks hates her, but normally she has to get that mana perk at 10. It's really important to her hero concept, but she's got a CM on her team. So I think this is significant because that means she could get the 25% win run slow instead because she's going to have guaranteed mana. And she's against a lot of melee heroes that are very kiteable, Troll Warlord as well as Legion. Maybe not very kiteable, they're fast, but I feel like that could be a cool way that Alliance helps beat the great lockdown and general good carry from OG's side. So I'm excited to see if that works. I don't know if they'll do it or not. It's hard sometimes not to just go autopilot, but yeah, I definitely agree with the panel though. There's a lot of really good strengths in OG's draft. Duel especially is going to be great at securing a lot of kills.
Yeah, I'm loving this Troll Warlord. It's one of my favorite to go into pubs right now. So at a pro level, we'll see what No Tail's going to do with it. I mean, Troll's critical. He was kind of dead in the water because Sajinasha was so terrible. Is that still a staple of his build?
Yeah, it's really important to get. I mean, it's kind of tempting to try something like Echo Saber or Helm of the Dominator or something, but it's just so much safer to just go the standard build from before just because of the extra movement speed, mostly. It does have a higher proc chance now, so it's easier to get slows, and it's pretty good on melee heroes when he's in melee form, so it's definitely better. But against the enemy heroes, I mean, there's actually a lot of lockdown coming. Sven stun, Kunkka combos, CM disables, shackle shot. It's going to be a pain in the butt. He definitely needs a BKB this game.
How firm of a believer are you with Lax that, Loda's got a hero with a stun and a sword, it's all over?
I mean, it's nice to be consistent, definitely, just because, the playstyle from game to game is a little bit straightforward, and Lotus succeeds on it, definitely. And especially because that should help them cover drafting things as well, especially because Elimination Mode gets so weird, right, in the game, just because game to game, you don't have the same heroes, so you try to keep the same kind of heroes in the game, it should offset a lot of other mistakes that you might make, such as like, not having the same anti-push or tower hitters or something. You're always going to have those same things in mind.
Down bottom, Ward taken out in this little nook of trees that was Crystal Maiden get in there, try to get some sentry vision, but is going to be knocked down, so slightly in Dyer's favor there. Fly able to take out this Observer as well, so a little bit of gold going to his pocket. Yeah,
that's a really good snag there. EGM was hoping to counteract that a bit with just eating their potential Sentry Ward to start it off, but didn't work out. Oh, what a huge nuke from S4. EGM's getting way too pressured here.
On bottom, Torrent being used, nothing going down. I mean, this Crystal Maiden, I worry for her so much. I've seen that Crystal Maiden that's so squishy, and on the side of OG, Troll is going to be speeding after you. Crystal Maiden's going to have a blink. Commander at some point is going to have a blink. I mean, this Crystal Maiden is just fodder.
Yeah, she generally will be, especially in the laning stage like this. Like, she's one of the worst base damage heroes, one of the worst base stat heroes. Limp on the mid lane does end up getting killed finally. It was just a roll-in from Jerax there. A good slow and a dagger from Anna. He did get around the Earth Spirit with Windrun, but by the time it had ran out, he was able to keep getting Orb of Venom hits. So pretty big roam there by him. So successful move. Because right now the tri-lane from Alliance is not going so well because of EGM's pressure.
Speaking of pressure, up top, No Tail is just keeping Jonas all the way back. He's opted to go for point number 2 in Fervor. That was a skill pickup at level 2 instead of going for the, whirling axes or whatnot.
Yeah, it's just because it's going to allow him to trade so well against Jonas and Fun, because if they do trade each other, you know that No Tail's going to have way more attack speed. So with the poor man's shield on top of that as well, and you can just do this range mode. Like, look at the advantage here. Like, Omni can't even get close.
I mean, he opted to go for that degen, or else he was counting on getting all up into him, running at him, and he just can't even get close.
Yeah, the Orb of Venom pickup by Troll, by No Tail is really smart. It doesn't work very well on range. It does less slow, but it does the same damage. So he just has to keep a range advantage against Omni Knight, so the degen orb doesn't matter, and he's set. So it's pretty cool. No Tail's easily winning that lane, which means that if OG can win their dual lane bottom, then they're going to be winning at least 2 out of the 3 lanes, and occasional roam from Earth Spirit as well should solidify a laning advantage win for OG.
Yeah, what's the most crucial thing for Alliance that needs to go right? How do they set themselves up for a really successful mid-game?
I think it comes down to the 2 roaming supports, the Kunkka as well as the Crystal Maiden. Both CM and Kunkka are very good at roaming at all stages, mostly the early game and mid-game, certainly. They need to get some good ganks off, and they need to be successful. Because if they don't, they're going to get behind in levels, and then they will get to the point that you were talking about, where Troll and Legion are just blowing up CM repeatedly. She's a hero that has a lot of trouble when playing from behind, depending on the right heroes, so it's going to be a tough game if things keep going weak.
Up top, there is going to be another rotation in by Jerax. We were talking about this phenomenal pick on the Earth Spirit, and that is not going to be an Omni Knight going home to see his family. Another kill here for the side of OG, looking really strong so far. Yeah,
it's so tough for him now. He's only got... I missed that kill. A solo kill mid, that's actually super huge. Level 5 picked up now. That was an Arcane Rune as well, so Anna's not even losing that much mana to go for that kill. And that's a lane that Wind Ranger could definitely win, certainly, but Anna is wrecking right now. And it wasn't just the roam from Jerax here. He's just been winning the lane.
Yep, Anna might take a little bit of damage here. Cohen has the blink away if necessary, but Limp just going, trying to catch up on farm. In terms of overall farm, our Windrunner is getting slightly more out of the creep wave than our Queen of Pain, but I mean, kills at this point are so important, and Anna getting that solo kill, it's really tough for Windrunner to get back from that.
Yeah, she can at least farm decently with Power Shot, in some ways better than Queen of Pain, but Queen of Pain's going to be a lot more mobile, moving around the map and trying to get kills. The 2 supports do roam to the mid lane there. It's one of the downsides when you just smoke gank like that.
Oh, we got a double damage Quap. It's going to be X'd up by Hunt, brought back into the torrent. Do they have the lockdown necessary? Well, they do.
Yeah.
That's going to be Limp getting some revenge, but having to split the XP a little bit thin on that one.
Yeah, it's okay. The kill is the important thing. It's basically all about the X. They have really good lockdown for the Quap here, between Frostbite preventing the blink as well as X guaranteeing a torrent stun for 1.6 seconds. So that's the roam that they needed. If they can just keep doing that a few times, they'll be in a good spot.
To commit, their supports to go to that mid lane, so Loda's been kind of left to his own devices here. He's not getting perfect farm out of lane. He's got 16 last hits there, and you look at the Legion already at 24, so four are going to be stacking up a little bit more ferociously than Loda for now.
And looks like Jerax wants to try to get the kill. He's level 4 here.
And a couple more swats, and that's going to be a quick kill for Jerax. He's going to go ahead and get X'd up, just Hanskin preventing any sort of reinitiation, but this OG
is under attack.
looking really good in this
yeah
now.
It's a great kill by Jerax there, but the coolest thing that they did was they used Fatal Bonds before they used overwhelming odds, so he took damage from the creeps that also got nuked. So not only does it do a ton of damage, but it did extra.
Limp getting so low right here. Dagger not going to tick him down. They bring in Jonas, and they're able to... Limp going in with the power shot, getting that much needed kill on Quap. It looks like S4 just got a little bit overzealous wanting to go for the kill on the Windrunner.
Anna, you mean. Yeah, it's
sorry.
It's definitely, it looks like Quap has a huge advantage there, but all it takes is a support or two to rotate over and she gets completely shut down. And that's one of the big weaknesses of the hero, is that she doesn't have a built-in way to stop people from doing things like a shackle shot or a stun or something. She just has tons of damage, so it takes a lot of knowledge of where your opponents are, especially when they have really nice counters like Frostbite and Repel and stuff like that. So Limp getting a lot of help here, and it's paying off time for Alliance because they need it, especially with Loda dying in the safe lane previously.
Jerax is going to be hanging around mid. If there's any sort of initiation they could go for onto this Windrunner, but may opt to just sit back, soak a level or two, and then rotate elsewhere.
Yeah, he'd love to grab it. That's pretty much what Earth Spirits do all game, is they go somewhere where they think they might be able to get a gank and impact on it. Especially if a support shows up, for example, they can counter that. Looks like this Obs Ward might get destroyed.
Anna taken down to about half health. Hanska coming in. Maybe going in, trying to cast the torrent. Not going to connect. Wasn't able close enough to grab the X first, so a little bit of a botched initiation, but at least keeping this Queen of Pain at bay right now.
Yeah, she's still having a bit of a hard time. Jarek's with the bottle actually this game. Probably just because he's had such a great start so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's just stumbling around the whole map. He can pick up bounty runes as he goes, and that's just free regen.
And they're still sitting mid, ready to go in. EGM opting for 3 points in Arcane Aura, so he's just trying to give his team as much mana as possible. I would feel a little better about that, I guess, if the Sven was laning, but it's definitely helps most.
Power shot comes in. Anna's able to the high ground, but has to nurse that bottle up just to be able to get out alive. It's going to be Queen of Pain stopping to exert that much pressure in the mid, so coming out of the Windrunner right now.
Yeah, this power shot, man, it does so much damage. 340 with 3 skill points and 420 once it's actually maxed out. Like, she can't stand up to that if power shots land.
Yeah, it's all about
one
getting
disable
that
and she dies. It's so scary for her now.
Yeah, she's really got to rely on that blink, be quick on the fingers, but one shackle, like you mentioned, one good setup, one X, it is going to be tough for that Quap to get out of this without the help of her.
It's going to be a kill.
Back in, Jarek's trying to roll in onto Limp. There's going to be some TPs in from the Radiant. They want to prevent any sort of reinitiation here. Looks like with Hanskin coming in, maybe they can go in for something onto this Quap. But nope, just content to go back and keep on farming.
No-tail pressure in the top lane with his stolen Wildkin here. Just does some really good AoE damage and some armor bonuses as well to No-tail. Should be, it's a decent way to push.
Down bottom, we are going to have a nice kill set up onto that Legion Commander. Keeping her slowed down. S4 has had a ton of time to solo farm in the bottom, so he definitely needs to get checked there. Work on Alliance, rotating him with the knee, but there's going to be
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Crystal Maiden, and now it's just Limp running away.
Yeah, this is a little scary. He's got a shackle here and a power. Okay, this could do
Hits
something.
the trees, and now they've Quap blinks back towards the wave. There's a little bit of chip damage coming in. Jerax, meanwhile, rolling away into this new Anna getting pinged out by the rest of the Radiant. Can they go in? They've got the X. They're going to cast the torrent as well, and Limp should be able to finish this one off, and it's going to be among the Radiant heroes, but a necessary kill for Alliance.
Yeah, Anna's just having a tough time reacting to the reactions, basically. Every time she jumps on somebody, she has to get the kill and get out, but feels like he can almost get kills. He is often getting close, but every single rotation here from Alliance, either offlane or supports, have proved really effective, and looks like Fly's in a lot of trouble now.
That's just a quirky position for this Warlock to be in the first place.
Yeah, he probably wanted to put a ward down. There was a fight. They probably expected Alliance to move somewhere else, so not too unexpected.
Aww, Dark Troll Summoner getting locked down, iced off by Crystal Maiden. Meanwhile, S4 just taking some damage. This Legion, again, had a lot of free farm as there was mid-rotations going about. He has phase boots, has 1,400 gold towards that Blink Dagger. So S4 is going to have some pretty timings.
Yeah, he had a great start, that's for sure. We'll see if he's able to use it well, though.
Jerax coming in towards his bottom shrine. Limp just walked right into him. Power shot way off the mark, maybe just clearing out some trees and letting
he was looking mid, actually. He was looking at mid, he power shot at the 2 range creeps, so... And you realize, oh hey, there's a guy right next to me.
Alright.
A little bit moving around a lot as well. Was just top, but now shifting back to the jungle. He's going to go Helm of the Dominator this game, probably because he's having a bit of a tough time. And also to slightly counteract his opponent's one. I think Helm of the Dominator is actually really good against heroes that are physical based, especially if you can grab like an ice troll or something like that. That kind of a difference can definitely make Helm of the Dominator worth it.
Alright, Windrunner looks to be going straight in towards that Maelstrom, just wants more clear, wants a little more damage. Meanwhile, down bottom, we've got a scuffle. S4 is going to go ahead and get shackled as Limp is going to be in time. There is going to be a boat coming in onto the X. S4 dodging out a little bit of damage, but gets blown up by that Omni Pure.
Watching Kunkka this game, I just always think, why doesn't anybody play Kunkka anymore? He's still so good. This is just amazing at guaranteeing setups here.
That's the kind of drafting
spot,
Elimination Mode can bring.
Look at he's got 4 points in Fatal Bonds too. This could be so good for them.
Dropping down that Golem, it looks like this Omni is just going to completely get comboed down. He's got to Purify if he needs it, but he will still get focused. Got the Queen of Pain getting very low, focused down by the tower shots, but Warlock healing him up, and now Hanskin's going to get chased down, as well as Limp. They're moving backwards. There's a TP in from the Crystal Maiden, but what can she do? She's got her ult, just try to get it off, but will get silenced. EGM chased behind the tier 2 tower. Meanwhile, Kunkka dealing with the wrath of Queen of Pain. It's 2 heroes going down right now. Sven, the only survivor, walking. That was an unfortunate pick. Alliance feeling a lot less stable after that.
Yeah, I mean, every other engagement went so well, but that kind of teamfight pressure from OG was just hard to stand up against. So if you have 3 heroes on the front and the Infernal Golem drops down and everybody in OG is running at Alliance, Alliance doesn't have very good heroes for stopping them from running straight at them. Basically just what, Omni Knight, maybe Sven. Sven's not really farmed enough to deal with that yet. And without something like a BKB, he's not going to feel comfortable with fighting that.
And bottom, Sven's going to be TPing in. Again, another nice Jackal. S4 completely punished, wanted to get the tower down. Oh, that's got to be tragic for him. One shot away from getting that tower. It does get denied, and that's going to be Legion Commander's 3rd death in lane.
Yeah, and that would have been his Blink Dagger as well. Those kind of picks are really changing the tempo of the game. This amazing dual lane that OG had is just so much harder now.
So brutal. Jerax, by himself, Limp is maybe thinking about going in for a Shackle, going in for a power shot, but I know that OG rarely rotate completely alone. They usually operate in that buddy system.
Yeah, and Alliance has done a lot of that as well this game. We're going to try to go on Loda here, I think. This is kind of tough. They need more backup, yeah. And they've got S4 coming.
Oh, Courier flop in there. It's just going to be
Damage.
now. Loda going back. Anna with the double damage room finishes up. Crystal Maiden is
Oh, great ulti.
in the trees. This is a really nice ult. Anna gets low from the shot. Wrap around Jerax as well, getting very, very low. Loda, even though he's in COD strength form, he's just looking for something. He's just ambling around and can't find any. He will be focused down. EGM, now one of the only Radiant heroes still here, gonna get down a bit, but is able to TP away, as not a whole lot of reliable lockdown on the side of OG.
Oh, that ultimate was so good from CM, but they just weren't quite close enough, and there was no follow-up to kill the Queen of Pain. So, and Loda just got super creep locked by all the creeps running around in the trees. That was really unfortunate for him, but he was kind of forced to fight there. And again, the pressure continues. That's the hero that kind of needs to get farmed. At least Limp's doing very well. That's a good sign for Alliance, because he can transition and ganking as well. But Loda's got to be a bit worried here. He's just getting consistently kited and nuked down.
Yeah, it's not great. Slacks, you may have to revise that strat over Loda getting a sword and a Q stun, but I mean, he's doing all right. He's going to go in for that Echo Saber after picking up Strength Treads. It's going to be a game where BKB is ultra necessary, or does he just need to stack up his damage?
BKB is definitely very good, but it can be a little iffy. I mean, the Warlock Golem stun will go through it. You can duel the Sven if you really want to. Troll Warlord is doesn't really care that much about magic immunity. He'll just auto attack you. I mean, Sven's decent, very good at taking physical damage, but I feel like the BKB has definitely some positives and negatives, but he's mostly got to be worried about the Earth Spirit disables, in my opinion.
Oh, Jerax rolling right in onto EGM. CM was trying to be so sneaky for another one of those ults from the trees, but it's going to be completely surrounded. The duel comes out as well, and that's going to be the first duel victory for M4.
Oh, it's a disruptor in this game. Interesting. I didn't know that. Huh. Got the cast range talent. I don't know who that was supposed to be. We'll see. Who's level 10?
Looks like our Sven just hit.
Okay. Wind Ranger got the mana regen. I'm disappointed, but that's I might get a kill mid here. This one.
Yeah, it's gonna
be close.
Boat dropped in. Anna gonna get focused down, so Hanskin gold for that one. Gonna be in 500 gold.
She was so close to blinking away there. That was insanely close. She was halfway through her animation. If she just dodged the boat, she very clutch kill there.
It's like Hanskin has picked up the urn. Seeing that item a little bit more now. Just
yeah,
again,
it's because
really
it's got more disruptor. All right, I think we're broken. The UI is broken.
Buka, come on.
Somebody messed something up. I have a feeling every time we see a talent tree, it's going to be disruptor.
I think that's pretty
too
good.
weird yet, talent-wise at least. I'm looking around, but I'm not really. There's not even that many level 10 heroes yet.
Oh, EGM goes in trying to ward up or get some vision or free farm or something, but S4 hot on her heels has that dagger up, but to back out there. Getting curious. The rest of Alliance, we're pooling around. There's
always that threat, oh, if I chase this guy for 30 seconds, their whole team is going to be there. It may not happen that often in pubs, but in pro games, I guarantee it. So even though what EGM did there was a little dangerous, ultimately he's covered by his allies. And the important thing is the movement speed, really. He didn't get his tranquil boots interrupted, so the Legion wasn't able to catch up. So for now, OG's just going to kind of push out the lanes and do a decent job farming, most likely. Especially No-Tail, he's going to farm really rapidly. He's opted for a Dragonlance, actually. Slightly different build than we've seen from Troll. I was wondering if this would be built in, but makes his range very good, and his melee okay. Not the best melee.
He's going for the full Hurricane punch. seems to be suggesting so.
I think it's because of the Sven, because if Sven is ever in melee range and getting a little dangerous, he can always just push them away, and it's kind of like having a slow or a utility item against Sven. It'll give him advantage, damage-wise, but also he can just save himself. And not to mention, if he gets X torrented or something, he could force himself after the X, for example. There's a lot of really good ways to utilize the force. And maybe it isn't the highest damage item for Troll, but I think it'll be a good solution.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly off to a fantastic start. Did not get bullied a lot in lane. That's going to be a real ages for him.
Yeah.
And this is OG saying, all right, let's push. We got nothing to wait for.
Yeah, there's still really good wards on the map by Alliance, so they're controlling the midpoint of the map, so they will see OG when they cross the river, which should limit things like dual damage going to the Legion Commander or ganks from the Quap.
TP's in, coming in. Limp does not want to mess around, wants to go straight onto No-Tail. Lands really nice shackle, but they've got to watch out. The Warlock has his golems in the area. EGM on the back lines. They're going to pop the AG. Can this Troll get out of here? A boat going to be pumped onto his freshly respawned corpse. Meanwhile, S4 threatening out a duel. The golems are going to be dropped. S4 still thinking about the perfect initiation. Guardian Angel comes out on the back lines. There is going to be the Warlock going down. Jerax rolling to safety. And the rest of OG bailing out. They do end up getting onto the Queen of Pain. She can't do anything about that. So Anna just going to try to run for safety. S4 still feeling like, do I go in? Do I back out? And it's a clean escape from OG. They lose 2, but it could have been a lot bloodier.
Alliance collapsed on that so well this game. That was amazing. The ward's in great position as well, spotted the 2 heroes being aggressive, and in all honesty, that was kind of a greedy place for OG to farm, especially without ward vision there. Like, if you look at the vision that OG has, it's actually not very good right now. So sitting in that kind of position with their Aegis, again, with a hero like Troll, who's really very fragile before BKB, that was pretty dangerous, and Alliance profited from it very well.
All right, and now Alliance, they're just going to take that momentum and run with it. They're going in towards this bot lane, and that will be their first tower of the game if they can actually snap it up. But again, it is still scary. The rest of OG are now respawned. They've got a shrine nearby, a tower to TP to, so Alliance think better of this. They don't want to throw away any lead that can amass right now.
And Earth Spirit goes for Midas. We saw this earlier today as well, so maybe a new trend here for Earth Spirits just to get as farmed as possible. I think it's fairly reasonable to do this as well because Earth Spirit does scale well with farm, but it's not like he needs a Blink Dagger for his hero to be at all reasonable. I think it's fairly justified to go this build on Earth Spirit now. But OG's still got to be scared about the fights. They haven't gotten that many duels. In fact, S4's only got 10 damage from duel this game, and he hasn't even finished his blade mail just yet. So Alliance is just going to move around, group heavily. That way they can cover. What are we missing?
Right,
was it the Disruptor?
Chinese casters really want to purchase that Sage's mask.
Oh, for who?
Chinese cat. I don't know. Like, I mean, Queen of Pain's building up that Orchid, so Sage's mask.
Okay. They want her to purchase another Sage's mask, I guess.
She needs it, apparently.
Who needs TP scrolls when you could have another Sage's mask? How many masks can you wear, though? I mean, he's got a Veil of Discord already, like...
You can get a Mask of Madness?
Like, at some point, the hats stop fitting on your head. Anything... Oh, No-Tail's still going SNY, surprisingly. I thought he would probably stay away from it, because Hurricane Pike kind of covers similar things, but... Yes, he just wants as much movement speed as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at the kind of damage that OG have, they need someone that just consistently runs at you, and I think the Troll Warlord's going to fill that role quite nicely. I mean, the Legion is going to blink in tactically, go for those duels, and she can do a little bit of the front lining, but you got to have No-Tail, proper stance, just a complete madman.
I agree, but it's just with this much disable from Alliance, Shackle against a melee hero is so easy to land in most cases because he's always coming towards you. Torrent, X, Frostbite even, Nova, like there's so many disables coming from Alliance. At some point he's obviously got to buy a BKB, but I think he's going to delay until after the SNY to do it, most likely. Farm faster this way, but team fights until then, it's not going to be good. And maybe that just shows that OG doesn't feel comfortable about team fighting because of it.
Sven committing his God Strength for the top tower. The 4 to 5 from the Die are going to slow that down a little bit, but it looks like Alliance will still get their way with this tower. A little bit of a tier 2 for tier 2 strat, and it seems like Alliance are going to be the ones to chicken first and TP to their tier 3s.
Yeah, they'd rather do this for now. I think they're looking decent going into the late game.
Aww,
So
Hellbear, he did nothing wrong.
Forgot those are worth 125 gold now to the nerf Helm of the Dominator. It makes CM actually very good against Helm of the Dominator heroes.
Yeah, all she has to do is Frostbite, and that's easy money for her. The jungle comes to her. She doesn't even have to leave high ground.
That's a lot. She's got a free Midas, basically. Go for the damage perk. A little interesting, but... We could have gone for magic resistance. Hard to say though. Hence getting under grab. No.
Oh, No-Tail doing a lot of work against the tower, baits out the Kunkka. The duel gonna be slower
combo.
than he'd like, but look at that damage coming in. Golems, that's gonna secure another duel victory for our Legion commander. Now all of Alliance just scared up onto their high ground. The tier 2 tower goes down, and they've now got a Warlock Golem to push out. This is going really well for OG. I mean, the kill score is close to even. The net worth isn't balling out of control, but OG just got that confidence, got that scalability that I feel like Alliance just don't have when they're confined to their high ground.
Yeah, they really needed that engagement though. The crucial moment was the boulder smash from Jarex. Basically the Kunkka is the one that's going to be able to start the fight for sure and delay it in this like weird precarious like window thing where somebody gets X'd and Alliance has a lot of on the perfect set during that. But the boulder smash caught 2 heroes and they were able to do the golem and fatal bonds and the Quap ulti. And at that point it doesn't matter how farmed your CM is, they're gonna get blown up. So that was a really nice fight from OG, and it's safe for them to back off and do that again when they have their cooldowns. They can't just like force high ground and try to end the game like that. So this was a smart move by them to back momentarily.
Yeah, definitely a lot of patience, and of course the later you wait the bigger the spend's gonna be, but also the troll and the lead and the Quap, like there's not a huge for OG to just start breaking high ground ASAP.
It's mostly about trying to play the map correctly. There's a lot of really strong team fight utility things coming from Alliance.
Limp blinking forward, silenced and by Jerax, but able to at least survive through it. This tower getting whittled down, Jerax blinking in, trying to force out some disables.
Till's gonna run into EGM in any second here.
They're just munching their way through the trees. The tower goes down. It's going to be going the way of Limp. More gold towards that Wind Ranger, who's now working on her Ags after picking up the Maelstrom and Blink. Smoke up from Alliance, reinitiating here towards this mid lane.
Yeah.
Look at this.
This is a good move. They're ready to fight. They've got Guardian Greaves as well as on Omni Knight, so he's covered against the Quap Orchid. They just got to get somebody. EGM breaks smoke on the tower. He doesn't yet have his force either, so Alliance just wants to take engagements and win with their superior lockdown and their Omni Knight. That's a really good way for them to take engagements. It helps. Whoever initiates first is probably going to win most of these fights just based on the burstiness of both teams.
Look at Jerax using the
gank
illusion to bait out all the spells. It was going to be an X, a Torrent, dropping the Nova, so easy mana
Successful
burns.
gank.
They got him.
They got like 13 gold or something.
Dude, that is totally worth. Look at that net worth spike right there.
It was huge. Are we still seeing Disruptor consistently for you too?
I don't see it on my... It is fixed.
I'll believe it when I see it. I have to restart.
Let's take a look at our levels and see. Doing well, our troll is going to be on the board, level 17 already, compared to the highest level Limp. So it looks like OG just, again, getting a lot out of the map, using it really smart, using it to their advantage. Going well for OG, but we'll see how Alliance can hold. Like you mentioned, their team fight's great. Got to get it started off on the right.
Yeah, and I think that's actually one big way that OG has an advantage is that the gank from OG doesn't take more than like 2 heroes, whereas on Alliance's side it takes a bit more, which means it's harder for them to get perfect circumstances to get a kill. So OG doing split pushing and farming across the map, they should be a little bit safer and farm a little bit faster there. Because it's mostly just going to be Sven and Wind Ranger getting farm on Alliance's side, since Omni's kind of like a supporty type.
No-Tail just picks up the Sanj for his Sanj, and Yasha has that completed, and he's going to go straight into KB like we talked about earlier.
It really paid off actually, because they obviously lost a couple of those early fights, but finally getting a duel off here. S4 using Blade Mail, it's a really good way to get that done.
That was my bad, 100%. I was like, why is Troll ulting? And then, oh, down bottom, we got to kill S4. He's going to be checked down. We'll get smacked apart. Crystal Maiden commit ult for this, really wanting to make sure got the damage it takes to get that lead commander. And that's going to be Loda finally picking up his first kill of the game.
Totally fine for them to trade like that. That was a good move by S4.
Unless he continues to push forward. Anna's waiting there in the wings. Jerax as well. Fly ready to draw golems. All of Alliance are relatively clumped up. No-Tail moving forward. Will Stormhammer to the face, but it's going to be Fly dewarding as No-Tail chases. No-Tail is completely alone in this engage. Anna blinks forward and is able to Jerax thinking about rolling in. Hanskin using that Glimmer Cape to his advantage. Tries to escape with the Quap's dagger. He's slowed down, but have to be careful how hard they... All of Alliance are now respawned, and everyone but CM had their ults.
We might get the Centaur, but that's about it here. No-Tail had some trouble getting locked on there. The Sanj never ended up getting to him. Somebody else must use the courier, so they didn't quite have the utility they needed there to get the kill, nor the detection, actually. The Glimmer Cape has been saving people routinely here. But I think OG's still pretty fine with this. They're kind of just poking here and there, trying to find the right leverage, the right opportunity to go in. And it's not that bad. Trolls in the lead for farm, so I think they're happy.
Sure, there's someone in chat that's been keeping track. How many creeps has No Tail sent to their deaths in this game so far?
It's been a couple.
It's been quite a few, especially with that CM, like you mentioned. Jungle comes straight to her.
With that said, though, she's not that farmed. Just finishing her 4 staff recently, 26 minutes. So it's only, I don't know, maybe double the gold of what the creep would have given normally. Most of them give like 60 to 70 gold. So 125 is not that big of a difference. Just a nice thing to remember when you're playing.
Centaur Central in the Roche pit.
Centaur party. You gather them from the map and you put them in the Roche pit. They're snacks, special snacks.
Either way, both teams you can see very, very close together. They don't want to leave anyone alone to get caught out by Alliance's really nice lockdown. And Alliance know they're squishy, they're at the mercy of OG's rotation, so maybe they'll all stick together. And this next Roche is going to be a hot topic to respawn in about 30 seconds here.
It's going to be really big for sure. The engagement, I'd say, maybe favors OG a little bit more because their heroes are a lot more mobile. They've got Blink on Legion, Queen of Pain, Earth Spirit. Those 3 heroes are going to be fast. Even Troll, really rapid movement speed. So
we got Fight of the Neutral. The rest of OG are still smoked up. Of Golem. Be moving forward, and they go immediately duel on the Crystal Maiden. She never stood it. There is a Guardian Angel committed by the Om, but it's not enough to save anyone here. The Golems drop down as the Guardian Angel ends. There's a Repel committed onto the Sven, but Oda is still taking a lot of damage. He's moving forward, wants to find a kill, and Fly will get stunned up by the Mud Golem Boulder Toss. Oh, the Sven wants to stay alive so desperately, but just can't muster it, and Hanskin goes in, is able to cast the X. Is Glimmer kicked up, but S kills. Gonna be able to catch this up. There's a shack in from Limp, and at least distract everyone, so maybe the Kunkka gets out alive, and so far it's gonna be successful. Up in these trees.
It was a great initiation there by S4. To grab the Crystal Maiden gave them so much advantage, and the biggest loss there for Alliance was that the Omni blinked forward to use Guardian Angel to try to save the CM, but it wasn't enough. She got killed anyways, mostly because of the Sonic Wave damage. So
yeah, that's pure damage. Either way, that's going to be OG retreat the Roche pick and pick up another Aegis for No Tail. I mean, Alliance, the kills aren't abysmal, the isn't abysmal, but Alliance are so confined to their base right now. You see the initiation attempt coming in from Kunkka, but he's going to get focused down to half health, has to Glimmer Cape away. The Roche is still alive. Maybe. Anna's still working on it. EGM going to ult from this cliff. Very, very nice ult. Find the kill of Legion. Legion has buyback, and now we are going to have Alliance make their pit maybe a little bit ambitious.
Oh, he stole it.
Meanwhile, Loda's going to grab the Aegis. The Radiant kill the Roche.
No
this
way.
This is a huge play for Alliance. They're able to snipe down the Troll from outside the pit. This is game their Alliance, they're on it, they're on fire, they've got the momentum, and Limp gonna keep chasing. Fly's gonna go ahead, get X'd up, get Stormhammer, and be able to take out the Warlock as well. Jerax, the only one to get out of that fight. That was OG just tossing away that lead.
And the amazing thing is that all basically started from S4 approaching the shrine to try to get a duel off. He chased a little bit too far, and as a result, when he got X back, it was completely in a great position for EGM's amazing ult to chip him down. He ends up dying, and then an amazing Blink Sven steal there. Stun. He also got the last hit on Roche, so not only did they get the Aegis and wipe all of OG, they also got the gold swing from Roche. A beautiful play from Alliance.
Look at that net worth chart. That is almost vertical. Just about, in the next couple minutes could be a very even game. Overall XP, let's take a look at levels, because we are just about even on that. You've got 3 level 19s on the board, so these level 20 talents are going to come out very shortly.
See how they impact things. I don't know if any of them will be super huge, maybe like Wind Rangers or something, but as a whole, really good itemization so far. It all comes down to the initiation, really. Who takes which fight? If OG goes in first, gets a good duel off, they're in a good spot.
It's getting tense right now. Alliance definitely having a huge swing of momentum after that. They can now fight on their side of the map. So I must say, the OG vision has been really good all game, even bottom lane. We've got this deep observer in the shouting out everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's definitely been good. Alliance does pick up a gem, though. I feel like they've had slightly better vision than OG has, at least in some of the earlier stages. I don't know if that was just dewardian related or not, but with the gem advantage right now, and ideally the blink on Omni, they should be covered to how team fights start. That does a lot, actually, because even if, for example, you Guardian Angel the Sven, it'll protect against Blade Mail reflected damage for his auto attacks as well. So that hero alone should counter what the Legion provides. So as long as Alliance keeps the lanes pushed out and grouped as 5, they should have a huge advantage. And especially with Aegis on top of that, they're in a great spot.
Yeah, Loda's still got his Aegis, and he can pick up his Demon. And that's going to be a full Daedalus for him. We talked about Loda needing to really maximize his damage output, and that is sure as hell a great way.
Yeah, interesting. He's going not completely. You obviously want crit on this hero, but against the Troll Warlord, this could be an issue because he does have a really good blind.
Boulder comes through, cancels Loda's TP, so he's just gonna roll right out of there. Jonas was able to purify and repel him if things went wrong, but that's just making sure that Alliance can't get back. They're going to have a difficult time defending this last tier 2.
I didn't see whether or not Jarek saw that he stunned and canceled the TP because the rest of OG did back from top. They were not completely confident. In fact, the way that Jarek is playing right now, he doesn't even want to Midas these creeps. He's scared.
He's spinning around. He's got it. There he goes. Nice.
But waited long enough, eventually do spot the Alliance hero, so he feels comfortable to come forward. So I mean, as much as you have that desire, like my Midas is off cooldown, this dying would also make a huge issue because then if Alliance was still there, they could just kill Jarex, take the tier 3, destroy shrines, and then OG would lose almost all map control as a result. So the next fight is super crucial, especially if it's on OG's side of the map. Really for either team, that could be the case.
Holding on to his god strength, he wants to see if he can whittle down this tower without using it. And right now, Jarek's thinking about that initiation. The rest of OG, they're waiting on their high ground. They're gonna let this final tier 2 flop down without much of a fight.
Yeah, that's not the place to fight. They want to fight in base if anywhere.
Loda gets hit by the Veil, but he's still tanky enough. Like a Quap Scream of Pain is not going to be good enough to...
Alright, that's why Jarek's bought Yules. Makes perfect sense. He can save himself against the X marks the spot.
Oh. Long-range boulder kick will connect onto Omni Knight, but again, still not something OG can jump onto and capitalize.
So it's just very hard for them to initiate like this when the people that are trying to bait out the X, for example, have Yules. They even have, obviously, Legion Commander, so if somebody does get X'd back, he can just remove the Torrent Stun and they can instantly try to get out with a Force Staff or Walking or something. KB is well on Legion, so he's covered against a lot of the disables that Alliance has. So they're starting to get the items they need to take fight. The big one's certainly going to be an eventual BKB from Troll, but he's even delaying it further because he felt a little ahead. He's thinking about going Scotty next, which would be a fantastic item, but I'm still worried about the lack of lockdown.
Loda's Aegis about to get reclaimed. Has like another 30 seconds or so. What's the next major jump point? Is it going to wait for the next Roche, or is it going to be waiting for OG to leave their base? Because this is a very patient game.
It's all about getting a kill because net worth is a really big deal and it's very close right now. But whoever is playing 5v4 has a much higher chance of actually forcing a good engagement high ground. So both teams are going to wait until the right moment. So basically, Alliance had to back there because the other waves on the map were pushed out. So they'll back up, they'll farm temporarily, they'll push the waves again, then they'll try to get a pick. And in the meantime, OG's going to try to get their own.
Jarek's going in really deep here into the Radiant Ancient Pit. Scouts out that it has just been farmed down. EGM's going to ping himself. Anna moves forward. Jerax wants to get the pick onto this easy little EGM and will be able to do so. EGM actually escapes with his life. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight happens over here behind this little cliff, and it is going to be a Windrunner going down. Crystal Maiden Bry's back, and that's going to be very dead spend. Loda just can't escape this low of Warlock, and this OG just showing their power in this game. When they rotate together, get those pickoffs that they need, they can wipe very easily.
Yeah, that was a kind of a big mistake from Alliance here, not expecting a smoke from OG. I think this was their movement was timing related based on the Aegis, because killing Sven right here, he just lost it. So they probably took timer, they moved across the map to try to take a fight so that if they killed Sven, he would die about the same time it dies. And because they got initiated on, lost all their cores here, that's going to probably be some buybacks. Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, CM already bought back, and now we can see rejoins the party, and that's all OG want. They get there, they get their kills, they force buybacks, and they're backing out after placing really nice wards. I think one of the reasons Alliance got so caught off guard is that they have offensive wards. They've got really aggressive vision into the dire side of the map, but what they see, their own side of the map is pretty...
That's such a big little series of events here. I mean, they were 200 net worth difference not even 2 minutes ago, but that fight and the buyback, 6,000 gold advantage. They would love to catch somebody. Alliance's, their smoke is going to break. That was on EGM here. Maybe not the best person to lead, but they don't really have the best initiators, to be honest. The best one is certainly Wind Ranger, but she's got to push lanes half the time because the other heroes can't do it super well.
Now Anna going to be caught out here, but nice blink away, very quick action, and Hanskin's going to continue to chase this Kunkka. I mean, he got distracted by prey and really, really wants it. Jerax lane of trees, and he'll be able to make it back safely. So right now, Alliance, they're walking around, they're ready to hunt, but they're just not finding any prey.
So this is how OG will probably play the game. Leave the base, take a fight. Base again, take a fight. Once they spot their enemies on the wards, they'll spot them now. They'll see Limp moving through the mid lane. They'll cross the map now. Some map control of their own. Jarek's very, very close to Eggs. In fact, he's got it as soon as he uses Midas. OG is just farming super well. It's very close net worths across the board, though. Everybody's kind of mixed in together.
No tail able to go through. Just pick Gotti. He's also the highest level in the game at 22, and has opted to go for the 40 damage. I mean, I think pretty solid play from a job is just do.
Yeah. And he's already got all of his items are basically like hybrid stat items, so which means that he does pretty good attack speed and pretty good damage, but not amazing damage. So grabbing plus 40 damage on top of that's really safe. He's already bought plenty of strength items basically, but between the Pike, Sanjay Nasha, and the Ice Scotty. In fact, I'm kind of curious what his last item will be. Maybe definitely see something like a butterfly, perhaps, just for some evasion. It would be kind of nice against like Wind Ranger and stuff. But he could also do something like. Maybe Diffusal Blade is a decent idea at this point. That way he can remove Guardian Angel and also remove Windrun from Windrunner when she uses it. There's a lot of good advantages there that could be strong.
Is there anyone else on OG that would be better suited to grab a Diffusal, or is it really on Troll if they want one?
I mean, it's pretty much perfect on Troll. He's an agility hero, so he still gets the damage from it. It works in ranged and in melee form. It gives him even more slow, basically, against his opponents. I think it's a great option in this game. But he may be more desired to go like a hard damage, like a Daedalus or a Monkey King Bar might be safer. Kind of depends. Butterfly might not work. The Wind Ranger has Monkey King Bar queued up. She knows what might come next. So, and either way, it's a great item on Wind Ranger.
Yeah, she's doing well. She's farming up for her team. Highest net worth on her team, but this Troll still seems like capable of squishing everyone.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Especially in a one-on-one fight, he could beat any hero in the game right now, just because he's already running at 460 movement speed without phase, and he can Scotty slow, and he can Sanjay Nyasha slow, which means that Sven basically has no chance against Troll unless Sven jumps in and blows him up in like 4 hits. But even that, I don't know if that's very possible, unless he cleaves through somebody else. That way he ignores the armor. But it's a tough fight for Alliance, and their heroes that were so good at like the 10 to 20 minute mark, they're falling off a little bit. Heroes like Kunkka are going to start having problems against Glimmercapes, BKBs, stuff like that. CM has absolutely the same problem, and she hasn't really accelerated in farm at all. So it's getting harder and harder, I think, for Alliance to take fights. They haven't been able to use the Wind Ranger too much just for getting kills, is kind of what it seems like. She has certainly in the early mid game, and she's been farming a lot, but one of the best things about her as a carry is if you have good ward vision and you can continue getting solo kills throughout.
So we're getting to a little bit of a later 35 minutes in. We could go another 35 minutes if this game is going to keep with certain paces. What are the level 25, 20 talents that are going to start to really shake things up?
Well, the Sven one I don't think is going to matter too much. Stuns are very good though. The Wind Ranger 25 is pretty much always you grab the attack range if you're anywhere resembling a carry, so I'm absolutely sure she'll grab that for her team. I still kind of wish that she had the Wind Run slow a little bit, because right now her mana aura is kind of wasted, and 25% slow is pretty incredible. Extra slow, that is. So I don't know, maybe that was a mistake, but on the Dire team, no tells. I think magic resistance is certainly an option this game. It also depends how much he delays getting BKB, but Whirling Axes are also really good, because that would basically allow you to permanently blind the Sven, absolutely forcing him to buy either BKB or Monkey King Bar. So there's a lot of questions that could be decided on. Queen of Pain's probably going to grab Spell Life Steal, but maybe Shadow Strike cooldown would be good too, just because she would be able to permanently slow Sven once BKB ends. There's a lot of kiting things that could happen this game that'd be interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of mobility shaping up here. We've got our Dire. They would certainly love to take this Roche. The Alpha Wolf is going to scout it out. Got about a minute left. OG, they are ferociously guarding this.
They're trying to set up wards for a 2-fly gets one down, doesn't get spotted. In a good spot as well. I like the Solar Crest pickup. Very good to help one of his heroes stay alive. I mean, like Quap or something. If she gets out of position, that could absolutely save her.
Roll ult being used just to clear out some camps, clear out this wave, and OG take their place on the map on the Radiant side of the turf.
more jungling. Shadowblade next for Legion Commander. This is kind of the period of the game where actually finding those ganks is very difficult sometimes. Like if you have a ward there and you can blink forward and get the duel, it's fine. But in a lot of cases, there's a lot of places on the map where there isn't a ward, or you might not know where a hero is farming, or Shadowblade will help you like scout out that area of the map and see if you can get a duel. So it's a nice item transition, even though if it seems a little counterintuitive to have both Blink and Shadowblade.
Yeah, OG, again, like you mentioned, really keeping wards. This is what they're seeing on the Alliance side of the map. They can see pretty much everyone right now, and they definitely saw all the heroes move through out of their base, so we'll see what kind of information they're going to get from that. Meanwhile, Alliance get word that Roshan is back up, and they are heading right. Is going to be the third row, so Aegis and Cheese. OG, they've got the opportunity to TP to the shrine, but they just can't get there in time, and that's going to be snatched right out from under their nose.
Yeah, I would say this is maybe one of the first tactical mistakes here by OG. They kind of spread out too much. They showed that they had a core bottom as the Legion Commander, and they showed that they had Queen of Pain on the top creep wave. So because they were separated like that, I think it makes it a little bit more, makes Alliance feel a little bit better about trying to take it. And they just do insane damage between Focus Fire and Sven with the Daedalus. So they do use God Strength for that, which will make them a little scared for 40 seconds or so, but it was absolutely needed there in that moment.
Interesting that now both Sven and Windrunner have MKB queued up. Is that going to be necessary?
Yeah, absolutely, because the Troll Blind, especially with the level 25 perk, if you have permanent 60% miss chance, you're going to lose the fight.
Global Guardian Angel being used down bottom to try to defend against the duel. The duel will not go through, but the Aegis is now going to be... And the rest of OG back off for now, so at least saving the Sven from actual death.
How did he even die? My god.
He just got jumped, man. OG, they're around.
I guess Legion hits really hard right now. 124 plus 170.
He also committed the Sonic Wave for it.
It was the Guardian Angel a little bit late or something. Maybe Blade Mail does go through Guardian Angel. I assumed it didn't because it's physical, but I don't know. I'll have to go check that later. Either way, huge kill. That Aegis is gone, so that's a team fight advantage that's gone now for Alliance.
Look how aggressive OG are being. They're really trying to wait until Alliance just step a toe into the mid lane, but looks like they're going to be going top. In fact, chasing down No Tail. Hanskin's Glimmer caped up, maybe looking for the connect onto that X marks the spot, but like you mentioned, No Tail's movement speed is 464 base without phase boots.
He hits max movement speed when he uses phase boots. Cool.
Sanj and Yasha will do that to you, man.
It's really good. Sanj and Yasha plus any other movement skills as well. I mean, Berserker's Rage gives him 40 movement speed. The fast hero. Not a very smart one, but he's very fast.
Now, Gem on Warlock, they were able to take out an Observer here, but missed the center. Radiant still have a little bit of information. Roche Pit.
That's slightly a mistake. They don't have a lot of super mobile heroes that can like blink up and force down immediately, so it's dangerous to commit to seeing if there's a ward there. So it's kind of hurting OG a bit. Were you talking about the one on the cliff or the one by Roche?
I was talking about the one by Roche, but they didn't rotate that deep to be able to scout it out.
Yeah, it's just very safe wards from Alliance, and I think it's a very good idea. It's sometimes when you're doing mind games with enemy teams and trying to think about, where do I ward so they don't find it, sometimes just putting them on the super obvious spots saves you a little bit. And I would say against really good teams that usually doesn't help, but like I said about the mobility thing, maybe Earth Spirit could have found it with a rolling boulder up and a blink down, for example, but that place is so close to the tier 2 tower that's just so unsafe for them to try to check that cliff. So in some ways, Alliance can just kind of hang out in that area of the map, gives them a little bit more map control than they'd have without that tier 2. But it still comes down to the fights. Can they push out the lanes? Who's going to find who? OG as a whole is going to stick together, and Alliance will do the same too.
Absolutely. This is going to be one of those, one team's going to get up their confidence, going for the high ground, get slaughtered, maybe the team pushes back, and then I think it'll be a pretty back and forth game, and has an ultra disadvantage right now. OG are in the lead by about 10,000 gold, 15,000 experience, but for a 40-minute game, that's not way out of whack.
It's not super out of whack, but it can definitely matter. And usually those kind of advantages where I'm looking at is the support heroes. Do the supports have stupid amounts of items? Because those are heroes that normally only have like 1, 2, maybe 3 items at this point. Here's Jack's like 6 slotted already at 42 minutes, and it's only going to get scarier. Eventually those are going to turn into things like Scythe Devices and Shiva's Guards and crazy good team fight things. So aggressive ward placed by Fly here. Does spot theirs, but they need somebody to kill it. They can maybe bait with this by them knowing that their opponents have a ward. They might actually approach it. They don't though. So they get the ward killed.
Centaur going in. Then Drumhammer going to be disjointed. Liv actually blinks in, wants to start this fight, and it looks like Legion Commander will be focused down. save temporarily. Guardian Angel comes out from the radiant side. The BKB showing off from No-Tail. He's just running from the fight. Meanwhile, Anna waiting in the trees till time to reinitiate. Loda trying to move forward onto Fly. Fly's got the golems back up. The duel going to be coming out from S4, trying to do some work, but S4 barely wins that duel. They're going to be on the ground. Jonas continuing to run from the fight. Alliance are just going to get easily focused down. EGM, though, almost dodges out No-Tail. Hans gets taped up. Link up all around. Got more damage, and there's going to be almost a complete clean wipe coming out of OG. They're going to be able to take the last tier 2 tower, maybe full lane of racks as well. There's only one buyback on the side of Alliance, and that's on Omni Knight.
It's a really crucial team fight there. The initial Sven initiation was very strong. The Legion looked like he was going to die due to the shackle, even with Jarek's pulling the Legion away, but he chased after, and then all of a sudden he used his actual Ag's ultimate thingy. What's it called? The Enchant Remnant thing. That absolutely saved Legion Commander. And he was allowed to reinitiate after the BKB runs out to guarantee the Sven. And once Sven's dead, it's so hard for Alliance to win the fight. They need him to jump in and blow up a bunch of heroes, but it just didn't happen there. Everything was all over the place. Alliance was not coordinated on one target, and they weren't able to burst him in time.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it could have been great. If S4 had lost that duel, if Sven had gotten the win there, it would have been a very different fight, but fortunately it's not great. Jarek's now just after a full lane of racks are taken, mid's gonna be focused down, and look how hard No-Tail hits. These things are just melting.
And he picked up the 20% magic resistance perk now, so it takes so much magic damage to kill this guy. And he has BKB.
Teammates Lincoln's on him. This is gonna be very difficult for Alliance right now. They don't necessarily have the easy pushers. X back, they're gonna be able to grab Anna, leapfrogging through the air, and will end up living.
2 people grabbed her there, or grabbed him there. 1 X and 1 Geomagnetic Grip. Very good way to save your allies. It's such a good item against Kunkka, really. About as soon as somebody gets pulled back, you pull them.
Oh, Crystal Maiden going out. I mean, leaving her turf, I guess, trying to go for some counter wards, but that is a dangerous place to be.
Oh, great Shackle.
Shackle's going to connect onto 2. This is actually a nice start for Alliance. They've actually managed to rotate everything there, and EGM is dancing. No one's paying attention to her. S4 thinking about maybe going forward for the blink, but can't get that blink saved up. It just keeps cold. The rest of OG bail out after they loot their Earth Spirit. He has buyback, but that was, you know, something the Alliance necessarily need to.
No-Tail is super gone from the fight. So hard for them to actually fight against him. I mean, just even hitting him directly, even with True Strike, still having trouble with the little split pushing coming from Anna here. Look at the right click. Really hard right now. Lots of int items on his hero, and only 1 more barracks to go, so Alliance is going to feel super pressured here.
Oh, Anna getting focused down. The rest of Alliance able to rotate very quickly, get on top of her. On the back lines comes S4. He's got the BKB rockin', but he's now kiting 5 heroes. They've got Fly there, ready for golems if necessary, but they'd rather save him up, and now No-Tail comes in. There's the golems drop. They want to focus down Loda ASAP, because Ben is the key to ending this fight, but Fly, he's going to get 4 staff back. Is maybe going to be able to escape. No, Limp. 1 more shot, gets blink back.
What's Sven?
Now Alliance are going to get cornered. They're wrapped around. They're fighting in a choke point, and that is not advantageous at all. GG called out as it is a full wipe. OG, they come back from what looked like a yucky fight, making it a game-winning fight. Phenomenally played.
Yeah, every single time, as soon as that Sven is dead, the fight is basically over. Limp was not able to carry the game on the back of the Wind Ranger. He got some great shackles in the fights, but it seemed clear that the real brunt of the damage was coming from Sven. So just really cool draft from OG. Their lane advantage was pretty extreme. Alliance had some really good comeback engagements and fights, but ultimately it just led to OG super out farming them.
All right. Well, again, this is a 3 series to determine the winner of the EU